From a live-action Disney adaptation to some of the biggest sci-fi films of the year, March is stacked with movies well worth checking out at the box office. Update your calendar, fill your pockets with snacks, shovel your car out of the snow, and check out this onslaught of March movies. Logan. Director James Mangold's Logan could really be Hugh Jackman's last hurrah as Wolverine. The film is a loose adaptation of Marvel's Old Man Logan comics arc and will dive into the darker side of the X-Men universe's possible future. The film also features fan-favorite Wolverine clone X-23's big-screen debut. The story finds an aged Wolverine with a failing healing factor and broken spirit, protecting an older Professor X at the end of his life. The early trailers look fantastic, and Jackman even took a pay cut to ensure the filmmakers would have the flexibility to create the R-rated story properly. Get ready for the end on March 3rd. Before I Fall. Think of it like Groundhog Day, but a lot bleaker and for the teen girl set. This sci-fi light drama is based on the 2010 novel of the same name by Lauren Oliver and follows a 17-year-old girl who has to relive the day of her death over and over until she figures out how to get it right. Young Sam, played by Zoe Deutsch, uses her time loop to try and avoid her fate and eventually finds the freedom to take chances and learns there's a lot more to life than she thought. Check it out on March 3rd, and then check it out again. And again, and again. T2 Trainspotting 2. It's been more than 20 years, but director Danny Boyle is back with the long-awaited sequel to his cult hit black comedy crime drama, complete with original stars Ewan McGregor, Ewan Bremner, Johnny Lee Miller, and Robert Carlyle. Expectations are high for Boyle to follow up his modern classic, but by loosely basing the story on the original novel's sequel, Porno, he at least has a template to follow. Reviews have been largely positive in the UK, where T2 is already in theaters. Spot it in the US on March 3rd. Kong: Skull Island. Hollywood's most famous angry ape, aside from Gary Busey, returns to the big screen on March 10th, alongside A-listers Tom Hiddleston, Samuel L. Jackson, John Goodman, John C. Reilly, and Brie Larson. The plot seems fairly predictable, but still relentlessly fun. A team of explorers and soldiers venture onto an uncharted island in the Pacific, which just happens to include a whole lot of monsters.
I call them skull crawlers. Why? Never said that name out loud before. It sounds stupid now that I say. Just, you call them whatever you want.
Legendary is reportedly looking to combine the worlds of Kong and Godzilla for the first time since their first showdown in 1962. So this one should also help set the stage for even more monster insanity. You just know they're gonna bring the big guy back to New York, right? The Balco Experiment. This high-concept horror film was written by Guardians of the Galaxy's James Gunn and follows a group of 80 white-collar office workers trapped in a violent social experiment in which the workday suddenly becomes a life-or-death game. It's basically Glengarry Glen Ross meets Battle Royale meets Saw, and features a long list of familiar faces getting spattered with the blood of their co-workers. So if you ever wanted to actually see John McGinley from Office Space going ham in an office, get your TPS reports in by March 17th. Beauty and the Beast. If you're a living, breathing human being, you already know the story of Beauty and the Beast, so you're probably not in for any huge surprises. Disney has realized that turning its animated classics into live-action blockbusters is pretty big business, and this marks the latest installment of more than 20 planned adaptations. Like usual, the Mouse House has assembled an all-star cast, including Emma Watson, Dan Stevens, Luke Evans, and a whole lot of computers to make that talking clock believable. Your furry fantasies come to life on March 17th. Free Fire. This action comedy from High Rise director Ben Wheatley stars Brie Larson, Charlton Copley, Armie Hammer, Cillian Murphy, and Jack Reynor as a bunch of criminals who get stuck in an arms deal gone terribly wrong. A disagreement turns into a shootout, violent comedy ensues, and if early buzz is to be believed, it's full of punchy laughs and a high injury count. Free Fire is set to launch in the US on March 17th. King Arthur: Legend of the Sword. Guy Ritchie is taking a break from his Sherlock Holmes franchise to put a fresh spin on the classic story of King Arthur. Due out March 24th, the story follows a young Arthur who learns about his royal lineage after pulling Excalibur from its stone. With great sword comes great responsibility, and Arthur has to make some tough decisions.
I'm happy to talk, but there is no way that I am fighting.
Despite its obvious period setting, the film looks like a more modern, action-filled take on the classic story, filled with A-list talent. Power Rangers. For adults of a certain age, the reimagining of the Power Rangers franchise has been a long time coming. The 90s kids series is getting a big screen reboot as a PG-13 action franchise, so if you've ever wanted to see Bryan Cranston as a giant, disembodied head, your dreams come true on March 24th. Director Dean Israelite has put together a nice mix of stars, including Elizabeth Banks and a team of young up-and-comers to play the Teenage Rangers. Israelite's previous film, Project Almanac, did a good job with its teen protagonists, so this one has the potential to be a whole lot of fun. One thing's for sure, if Bulk and Skull don't make a cameo, we riot. Life. This sci-fi horror thriller follows a team of astronauts who retrieve a Mars space probe with a sample inside. Because nothing good ever comes from Mars, all hell breaks loose and the crew has to find a way to stop the space monster while trapped on board the International Space Station. If it sounds like Alien, well, that's because it pretty much is Alien, with a twist. The cast of doomed spacemen includes Jake Gyllenhaal, Rebecca Ferguson, Ryan Reynolds, and Hiroyuki Sanada. Get probed on March 24th. Chips. This buddy cop comedy stars writer-director Dax Shepard and Michael Pena as two California Highway Patrol motorcycle officers who investigate a corrupt police department by making at least one wiener joke every 3 minutes. Sure, Chips is a comedy-centric remake of the 1970s TV drama, but that worked out pretty well for 21 Jump Street.
My name is Jeff. It's Jefe, man.
Remember how much you liked the Starsky and Hutch and Dukes of Hazzard movies? Well, even if you didn't, there's still a lot of talent and potential here. Ride or die on March 24th. Ghost in the Shell. The long-awaited live-action adaptation of this acclaimed manga and anime looks like one of the most ambitious sci-fi films of the year. Scarlett Johansson, no stranger to skin-tight action, stars as the cyborg Major, as she and her counter-cyber-terrorist unit take on cyber saboteurs. The film looks to be a gorgeous translation of the visuals from the anime, so no matter how it turns out, there seems to be no doubt director Rupert Sanders has built something gorgeous. Ghost in the Shell gets uploaded to theaters on March 31st. Thanks for watching! Click the looper icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.